Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 6 at Gulfstream Park on Pegasus World Cup Saturday is the $125,000 South Beach Stakes. Fillies and mares going 7.5 furlongs, 2 turns over the Gulfstream Park turf course. You can bet this amazing card with a DRF Bets account. If you deposit $50, you bet with $200 immediately. Bets.drf.com is where you need to go for all the information. Here's the field for the South Beach. We've got a full field and the strength is to the outside. And you can make an argument that the favorites in this race might be compromised by a difficult outside post position, including the number 13 Capla Temptress, who's 7-2 on the morning line. Capla Temptress scored last time out in the My Charmer Stakes. I thought Joel Rosario just gave her a beautiful ride that day. All the decisions were right. He knifed his way to the outside at just the right time, turning into the stretch, and Capla Temptress did the rest, beating a nice mare in La Moneda. She did get a fast pace that day to close into. She has a bad post position here, and there are some whispers that Bill Mott doesn't necessarily have to run here. They've got those races at Tampa Bay coming up for fillies and mares.
Yeah, we'll see if she elects to run or not and try to overcome post 13, because if she comes out, this race changes quite a bit. I think she's clearly the horse to beat in here, Dan. She's run several good races for Mott. She didn't win very often after winning that Natalma as a 2-year-old, but she landed in some tough spots and acquitted herself well in those races. Last time, I thought was a pretty big step forward. You're right that Rosario did everything right for this horse, but they finally gave her Lasix again, and she jumped forward last time. That was a nice performance from this horse.
Purchased privately by the powerhouse Judd Farms after that race. Capla Temptress, dangerous if she runs, outside post, worrisome somewhat. The 14 Andina Del Sur, you've always been a big fan of Andina Del Sur. You've been telling me ad nauseum, I have to admit.
It's true.
She needs a turn back in distance. She's getting a turn back in distance here from 9 furlongs to the 2-turn 7.5, but she is mired out in post 14.
Yeah, she got a really tough draw here. I want her turned back even more than this. I want them to try and sprint this horse again. Not that she can't go long. She's fine routing on the grass. Second in the Pebbles. She had that win in the Florida Oaks at Tampa as a 3-year-old when that race just totally fell apart for her. She got a great ride that day. But otherwise, I just feel like she finds these longer distances sapping her kick a little bit. She ran fine last time in the Tropical Park Oaks, but she got a perfect trip in that race. She had dead aim on Too Charming. Stablemate of hers who was a big long shot, could not get by. I still want this horse turned back to sprint.
Mott has Capla Temptress. He also has the 9. Dolce Lily, getting back to the turf surface that she prefers. Second 2 starts back behind a really nice mare named Bellevay. And I thought she had her chances to win that race. It looked like she had the lead in the stretch and was on her way. She dug in very gamely. Her lead changes are very awkward. That worries me a little bit, especially coming into this race off a 2-month layoff. But Dolce Lily is the right running style, doesn't she? Where she can be placed within the context of the race anywhere the jock wants.
Yeah, it feels like she can get a really good trip in this race. I actually have a little thing for her. I like her a little bit. I liked her a lot early on in her career when Chad had her. It felt like she was just really headed the right way. Mott has improved her as an older horse. She's run some really good races. She's had some excuses along the way too. We'll see what happens, Dan. I don't love her in this race. I think she ran fine against Bellevay 2 back, but I think she'll have to do better than that in this field.
Formulator fact for Dolce Lily, limited positive data for Bill Mott, past 5 years, 4-year-olds and up, dirt to turf, 61 to 120 days, 2 for 8, 270 ROI. The Mott horses do seem to do better with this move at shorter distances, like the 7.5. Maybe the turn back in distance, the slight one, will work for Dolce Lily. Let's throw up the Timeform US pace projector for this race. I would have thought that Dolce Lily would be a little bit closer. Instead, she's in the 3rd flight, parked out 3 wide after the first half mile or so. Expected to make the lead, first-time turf runner. That's the number 4. Everyone Loves Jimmy. Everyone Loves Jimmy's by Jimmy Creed. Jury's still out as to whether Jimmy Creed's going to be a top turf stallion. 13% winners from first-time turf runners. The Dam was 0 for 1 on the turf. She's foaled only 1 turf winner from 5 runners, but that horse Grand Sensation was stakes placed on the lawn. Not enough turf for me.
I didn't see enough turf either, Dan. I like the Jimmy Creeds on grass. I think they handle it just fine, but I didn't see enough on the bottom to get me excited about this horse, who is a pretty good dirt sprinter, but this horse has to improve on turf, and I didn't see enough pedigree.
Sitting second is the number 12 Road to Victory, and she just might be the best horse in this race.
Maybe.
She's run 4 times in her career. She's never been out of the exacta, and she beat Mona Moy Girl as a 2-year-old in the Grade 2 Goldenrod, and I thought she beat her on the square. She doesn't race very often. That's a problem, but she is 2 for 2 on the turf. In her most recent turf start way back in June, she beat an okay runner, a horse that came back to be stakes place sprinting at Saratoga with an 88 Beyer speed figure. You're going to have to deal with a 6+ month layoff. But Road to Victory is tactical, she's talented, and it looks like she's working quickly for Mark Cassidy.
Yeah, it does look she's training forwardly. We'll see what happens with her. The layoff always has to be a concern, especially when the horse is going to be a short price, and this horse will be one of the shorter prices. But to me, there's really no denying her ability. It's unfortunate that she can't stay on the track. Another long layoff here, but she did win that sprint at Woodbine off of a similar layoff to this one. She won that race very easily. I just feel like this horse has a ton of ability, and I'm hoping she comes back running off the layoff.
Another first-time turf runner for Todd Pletcher. That's the 11, Piedi Bianchi. This horse was a multiple Grade 1 winner as a 2-year-old. Really hasn't taken that step forward as she's gotten older, but maybe switching to the grass will spur some improvement. We'll first talk about the positive formulator fact for Pletcher. Past 3 years, horses 4-year-olds and up, moving from dirt to turf off a layoff line, 33%, 588 ROI. Overanalyze about 11% winners with first-time turf runners. Dam did win on turf. She's foaled 1 turf winner. That horse, Mind Reader, was a stakes winner on the lawn.
Yeah, there's a little bit of turf in this horse's pedigree. We'll see if the surface switch gets her to turn things around, because based on what she's been doing lately, I don't think she can win this race. We'll see what happens. I don't love her switching surfaces in here, Dan. I feel like, formulator stat aside, I feel like Pletcher just might be trying something different because she hasn't really panned out. You know me, I don't like it that he's been working her on the turf either. To me, that's a sign that he wasn't sure if she would like it. He's just trying it. I'm not taking, even at a big price, I'm not taking this.
Let's talk about some of the bigger priced horses in this race. The 5, Lover's Key, loves Gulfstream Park. Ooh. She's 4 for 9 over this surface. She handled course and distance last time out. She was also entered for a 62.5 tag that day, and she got the right setup. They were going in the early portion of that race. Yeah. She is versatile. She's going to have to run fast.
She is. I'm a huge fan of this horse. I've always liked her. They brought her to New York for a little while early in her career. She's a New York bred, and she ran great in those races. Pulled off an upset last time, and yes, it was from off the pace. Some other horses had trouble in that spot, but she totally missed the break in there and showed she can do it a different way, because when she won her prior turf start going along, they put her right on the front and she didn't stop. She's versatile. She's a big price in this race. She probably can't win. I want to use her somewhere. I'm a fan of this horse.
Third start of the form cycle for Vendetta, headed by Lover's Key last time out. She shot through down along the inside, another one that might have been helped by the pace situation. Do you think if you reverse the trips, anything would have been different, or do you think that Lover's Key just beat her on the square?
I think Lover's Key probably just beat her on the square. This horse's trip really worked out last time. Right up the inside, couldn't get it done. I don't think even her best race makes her a big contender in here.
If Everyone Loves Jimmy doesn't make the lead, or if his dirt speed doesn't translate to turf, I think the horse directly to her inside youngest daughter is going to make the running. That's basically her game. Last time out, she made the pace going a mile. Little disappointed she didn't hold on. Although the winner, Mrs. Ramona G, is a nice horse. She came back to run third in the Sunshine Millions Filly and Mare Turf with an 83 buyer.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't really have an excuse last time. I know Mrs. Ramona G is a fine horse, but that loss was a little bit inexcusable in my opinion. They've tried her in several stakes on the turf. For the most part, it does not work out. She doesn't really seem like a stakes quality turf horse.
Fizzy Friday, back with Nacho Correas. The last time she ran for this barn, she scored at Del Mar back in 2017, and kind of a weakish non-winners or one other then. One of the few horses that really didn't move forward for trainer Phil D'Amato. Her best races have actually come on synthetic. The first 2 starts of her career. Last time out in the Miss America, though, she got a really nice trip off of no pace whatsoever, and she still couldn't seal the deal.
Yeah, in this race, she is not going to get that trip. She won't be close to the pace in here. It feels like she'll be trying to make one run into it. She'll be a price. She's got some races that make her at least mildly interesting.
And Conquest Hard Candy's going to be up close to the pace as well for trainer Antonio Sano. She was on that fast pace last time out in the Lover's Key Vendetta race. She paid the price late. I think she can improve off of that effort, but this is a New York bred that's really done her best running kind of against fellow state breds.
Yeah, I think they got to go with her in this race.
Absolutely.
And they didn't go with her last time. She wound up sitting right in behind the lead, and she never came clear in the stretch, could not find anywhere to run. Lover's Key came down the outside. The runner-up got right through on the rail. This horse had nowhere to go and never got a chance to run.
And she was 3 to 1 that day. She took a lot of money off of solid enough effort in the My Charmer behind Capla Temptress. Miss O'Hara, so many horses in this race. Miss O'Hara ran in the Abuntianta last time out going 5. That's really not her game. She's stretching out to 7.5. I think Rusty was just using that last race as a prep, but her fast race is not fast enough.
It's not fast enough. She's going to have to improve to beat this field.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the South Beach Stakes, 7.5 furlongs. You like the Cassie Train runner. Despite the layoff, she might simply be the best horse in this race. Let's, and that is the number 12. As we take a look at our picks, that's Road to Victory. Before we get to Road to Victory, I want to talk about Corps de Ballet real quick, because we didn't get to her. My Charmer last time out, she just didn't fire.
Yeah, she did. She's got some races, I guess, that put her in the mix a little bit. It's interesting because when they sent her to Richard Baltus's barn last year, or as a 3-year-old, it felt like she was really improving. And then they switched barns again, and she hasn't gone forward from that race. I don't know where she fits in a field like this, but she has some speed.
But Road to Victory is your top selection in this race again. She's just shown perhaps the most ability of any in this field. It's all about the layoff.
Yeah, I don't love taking a short price on a horse off a layoff like this, but I just think she's pretty talented.
You're going 12, 13, 9, and 5. I'm taking a little bit of a shot with a New York bred named Fire Key, who got good towards the end of 2018, winning a couple of 6-furlong stakes races over yielding ground. Off the trainer chain, she ran in a 5-furlong race that to me just looked like a prep. I think 5's too short. She is not a good gate horse. She caused all kinds of problems in the Floral Park before she broke and she won that race, and then she missed it last time out. I did like the fact that she was at least staying on a little bit after saving ground on the turn. Connection's taking the blinkers off. Maybe that'll help her focus a bit out of the gate. She's got to break, because if she does break, I can see her working out a good trip with that short run into the first turn. If she doesn't break, I don't think she's the best closer in the race, but I take a shot. I think she drifts off the 10.
She's a very good turf sprinter. I don't know how I feel about her stretching out this race, Dan. I mean, to me, the book on her was always in New York at the beginning of her career. They tried to make her a route horse, and she was not good routing. She was way better sprinting. We'll see if she can handle the stretch out.
You're going 12, 13, 9, and 5. I'm going 1, 13, 9, and 12. I have to use a lot of Road to Victory, however, in any kind of multiple race wagers. If you're betting the South Beach, if you're betting the Pegasus, if you're betting the whole Gulfstream card on Saturday, DRF Bets is the way to go. Bets.drf.com for all the info. Deposit 50, bet with 200. Approximate post time for the South Beach, 2:02 Eastern. Best of luck.